everyone, I'm Vishal Nepali presenting you the SketchUp tutorial on basic interface for beginners. Please like and subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon for latest update. Okay, now this is the first interface which we will enter while opening the SketchUp software, where we can select the units which we prefer. Like I am going to select unit millimeters. You can also select as you prefer. Now let's head back to Intuit. Okay, now after entering the units interface, we will see this type of interface where we can see menu bar here. This is called menu bar, file, edit, view, camera, draw tools. This is called menu bar, and then this is toolbars. This list is called toolbar, where we can control many components while designing. This is also called large menu toolbar. You can also edit the toolbar by right clicking on the mouse, right clicking the mouse button and then customizing the toolbar menu. Let's customize principal toolbar. Okay, click on principal, then this type of toolbar will occur on the interface. Then you can customize it and place it wherever you want. Let's set to the default tray, where we can select different type of colors, materials colors, entity info, information, and then components, selecting components as well as editing them, setting up styles which you want on the design, like sketchy type design like this, or any other photo modeling, as well as assorted style, color shades, etc. This is also shadow option, where we can set up shadow of different position, as well set up the darkness of shadow. Let's see, I'm going to make a 3D object for shadow. There is the position of shadow. Now we can change the position of it. Yeah, now we can make it light and as well as dark. Okay, this also in animation. Now this option scenes also helps us to create different types of scenarios for animation videos. Like let's create a scene. This is one scene, and we can adjust the camera view and add another scene, then adjust another camera view and then add another scene as well, another camera view and then adjust another scene. Then while we play it, like play animation, this will play as animated video. Let's once again. Okay, the animation, this will play as animated video. Okay, this is the workup scenes. As well as there is a small option of structure. You can also get instructed through it. Default structure option. You can here you can learn about selecting objects, like when you go from top to bottom, the windows which you select only get selected, like whole windows. The line is totally selected, but not other lines. Yeah, when you totally cover the line, then it will be selected, otherwise it will not be selected. But when you go from bottom to top, every component which you select will be blue. Okay. Other options or instruction are also given here. You can also simply go there and look for that. And you can also soften the edges, like selecting it and soften the edges, like as means this geometrical figure which is quite sharp. Yeah, you can soften it like this. It is now softened. The total work of default tray is this much. Now we can get back to toolbar option. Okay, while designing 3D objects, we should also know the components for 2D designing as well as 3D designing. While designing the 2D plans, we should consider length and breadth, but not height. But while designing 3D objects, we should consider length, breadth as well as height. In this windows, we see green axis, red axis, and blue axis. We represent length, breadth, and height. Green and red axis represent length and breadth, whereas blue axis represent height. Such as, let's draw a rectangle. Okay, now this type of rectangle is done, which is in 2D plane. its length is this and width is this. Okay, now we for making it in 3D form, we should increase its height. Let's go to push pull. It's also shortcut, keyboard shortcut is P. While you enter P key, it will push pull option automatically starts, and then you can click Control and then push pull it, and a 3D object is available now, is designed. 3D rectangle is designed now. Okay, you can also make lines on it, like you can divide it in 2 triangles. Okay, now when you push pull it, a triangular shape 3D object is designed now. Okay, now you can make a circle where you want, then you can also push pull a circle through it. Now 3D design is shown due to the increasing height, length and breadth, 3D dimension. This is the two component to design the 3D objects. Now let's draw another rectangle. I'll introduce the keyboard shortcut to you. For drawing rectangle, we can go through the toolbar or click keyboard shortcut R. Then we can draw easily rectangle in short time. Then after drawing rectangle inside another plane, inside the plane we can push pull it by clicking keyboard shortcut P or going through toolbar there. While push pull, we can see that base is going upward, but base is not enclosed through a plane. So we can see while doing push pull option, we should click Control to enclose the base part. After clicking the Control and push pull the object, the base part is also enclosed in it. Now to control pan and rotating the orbit, we should click middle cursor of the mouse to make orbit like this, to rotate it like this, and to move it, click the middle cursor as well as shift on the keyboard, and you can pan it. You can measure the distance by clicking here and there. 6950 mm of unit of breadth, and height is 3555. You can also make imaginary lines on it, like you want to make imaginary line on 3000 mm. Here 3000 mm should be entered there. Look at that, 3000. When you enter 3000, press enter, then imaginary line occurs. Then again you want to draw another imaginary line, then click on that line as well, enter the value 2000, another line occurs. Again you want to make a horizontal line according to the baseline, this then you should click on the baseline, and then go to the direction where you want to place that imaginary line. Like I want to place below the baseline, then I will enter any value like 1000. Another horizontal imaginary line is occurred. You can also make like its keyboard shortcut is the tape keyboard shortcut is T. Okay, and then you can also imaginary line make an imaginary line 2000, and you can make rectangle on it as well. You can make open push pull inside, and this look like window. You can make windows also from this. When you become perfectionist in 3D designing, you can make also windows like this, windows, making lines through it. You can line, then let's assume it is a window, and you can move it. The keyboard shortcut for moving objects is M, and for making copy of those items you should click M plus Control. you can make copy through it when you click Ctrl. When you don't click Ctrl, you can only move it by clicking M. It can be moved by this. You can also erase the objects like by this eraser, or you can simply select the lines or objects and click delete on the keyboard. Okay, now one last thing to consider, that you cannot make or make lines or push pull any curved surfaces or smooth surfaces. Like we cannot push pull it, but we can push pull and make it double story like this on plane surfaces. We can also make it hidden, like by selecting the object and click hide. It is hidden now, and we can unhide it from going to edit and unhide all. It helps us in the field while we are drawing many components which may disturb us while designing, like when I have to make like lines on it, it may be disturbed while designing, but while I select this and hide it, then I can take actions on it like this. Okay, edit, unhide. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you.